So in this video, we're going to be going over the difference between an 8-bit file from an iPhone 12 and a 10-bit file. Now, about last week, a couple of days ago, Filmic Pro just came out with their new version of the software, and they came out with a new log version 3, which is a lot flatter than version 2 8-bit. So it's pretty ridiculous how cell phones nowadays can shoot 10 bits. Some camera manufacturers actually took a long time for them to implement 10-bit in their cameras, and now we have cell phones able to shoot 10-bit internally. That's a little bit nuts, right? I mean, obviously downsides are the bit rates are still a little bit lower, but still 10-bit is in your pocket now, like literally. What's the big deal? Why do we care about 10-bit, or why should we even shoot 10-bit? This is a pretty familiar conversation and argument between DSLR filmmakers back in the day, but there's still an argument between people. Why do I care about 10-bit? Well, let me go ahead and show you in post-production here so I can kind of exaggerate it a little bit. And because, to be honest, in an untrained eye, you won't see it right away, but when you're in post-production, you are gonna pay for that, unfortunately. So with that being said, let's go ahead and show you how to turn this on in the new Filmic Pro 6.13. So the first thing you're going to need is, I'm just going to leave it here instead of playing the video so I can scroll through. What you're going to need is first make sure that your version is 6.13 on the Filmic Pro. Now this is the iPhone 12 mini that I'm using. It's not even the maximum Pro Max Super Saiyan iPhone. So that's what I'm using. And then all you're going to do next is go to your resolution and scroll down, and you're going to be able to go left, and it's going to be 10-bit. Okay, and it's going to shoot it automatically in HVEC or HEVC. I always call it HVEC because it just flows better, but high efficiency codec. That's how you turn it on. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is turn on the Vlog 3. Now, this is not included with the regular Filmic Pro. You'll have to pay, I think, $15 to get this feature. It's called the Cinematographer Kit, and Vlog 3 is actually right here. And whenever I switch over to it, take a look at the image before and after, and that's a lot flatter. Now, why would I want a flat image? Whenever you shoot a flat image like RAW, you actually capture more detail because the camera is not baking the look. Kind of think about it as like developing film. The flatter you go, the better in post you're going to be able to recover. And that's pretty much it. You can just turn on log 3 right there, and now you can record 10-bit log 3 with your iPhone 12 and Android devices. By the way, there are some Android devices you can use this new Filmic Pro and shoot log 10-bit in. Alright, so in practice, now what I have here is just a house, yellow house, and I shot it specifically a colorful house because you're about to find out. So on the left side, we're going to have the 8-bit log 2 from Filmic Pro, and on the right side we have the log 3 Filmic Pro 10-bit. And let's go ahead and go to our color tab, and we want to make sure that we don't have any nodes, which we don't, and we'll create some right there and right there. So we have here is the 8-bit, and we have here is the 10-bit. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and drag our lovely waveform right here. Now this was shot simultaneously right after the other, so nothing changed as far as the scene. It was pretty similar. Now the first thing you're going to notice when shooting 10-bit and log 3 is that you will kind of get more highlights back in your footage because it's not clipping it as much, and you can kind of confirm that here, as you can see. Now if I switch over to the 10-bit, you can see that same highlight right here, but you get a little bit more, just a tiny bit more in the highlights. And same goes to the shadows. If you go look at the shadows right here, and if I shoot log 3, you're going to see more of that detail right there. Now I didn't change the settings. It was same exact settings, same exact ISO, shutter speed, and all that stuff. So that is probably the very first thing you're going to notice when you're shooting 10-bit, is you're going to get a little bit more detail in your videos. All right. Now, this is shot with an iPhone, like with a phone, which is really cool. The second thing that you're going to notice is when shooting 8-bit, it is the banding, okay? Now, you don't see it here because I exposed it pretty well, in my opinion. It looks pretty good considering, it's noon, the sun is right above me, really harsh shadows. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what banding is. And I'm going to show you why you would want to shoot in 10-bit. So, now to exaggerate this, what I'm going to do, since like I said, this is a pretty good exposed shot, I'm going to go ahead and just crank up the saturation. Alright, so I'm going to go turn this up, create a new node, turn this up, create a new node, turn this up. Okay, and we're actually right here. There you go. Sorry, I had this thing on, so I was bypassing it. So let's go ahead and bypass that. So now we have 3 different saturation nodes. So I'm gonna go to the first one, and I'm gonna Control F so you can see it bigger. So you can see it's still pretty good. That's not too bad, We're gonna try the second one, and that's why I picked a colorful wall. That's not bad at all. That's pretty decent. I don't see any banding yet. Go to the third one. Now you're actually gonna start to see it right here. Now I'm capturing this in a 4K. Hopefully you'll see this, but you're gonna see it a lot more here in a second. And you can see it right here as well. That's just that nasty banding when shooting 8-bit because you don't have as much color information as the 10-bit. And especially in the sky, this is probably where you're gonna see this the most. If you have like a blown out sky, you're gonna see that banding right here. And for the sake of it, let's go put another one in there. And now you really see that banding right here. Now, like I said, this is exaggerated because you wouldn't want to do this in your regular video. But in a blown out sky, this banding you will see a lot faster without even adding saturation. Okay, so that's pretty nasty. So let's go to our 10-bit, and let me go ahead and show you that this is 10-bit, so that you can kind of see it. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. So if you see right here, this is bit depth is 10, and right here, click on this, you're gonna see this is 8. Okay, so let's go back in there, and let's do the same thing. Saturation. Okay, saturation. If you go in there, it's still pretty clean. And how many do we have on there? 4? Alright, so let's go to the 4th one. Saturation. This is 3. Look at that. Still really clean on the walls, clean on the skies. Alright, on the 4. And now you see a little bit right here. But if you look at the sky, it's still pretty darn good. So if I go here, this is 4, okay? You see this color. Just what the heck happened? And this is because 8-bit has less color information, like I said before. Think about it like a bucket of water. It has less color or less water than 10-bit. So this is 4 on the 8-bit, and this is 4 on the 10-bit. And the color is pretty amazing. It looks great. It's oversaturated, but compared to this, broken down, the 10-bit kills it. I mean, for the sake of it, let's add another one. Like, how many can we add to actually break it? And obviously 5 nodes, you are going to start seeing that banding. If you had 12-bit raw, then obviously keep going. But for the sake of this video, that being said, in this video, I just showed you why you would want to shoot 10-bit with your new iPhone or camera.